Hi, I'm an Xbox 360 controller. What I like to do is be a formal and right to the point kind of console. Yes, I know I've had a lot of failure rates, as well as I had a lot of points with me that have not been well received. But in the end of the day, I made up for it with my customer service offering free customizable repairs to all the problems that were thrown out due to my own company. At the end of the day, you were the satisfied customer because you always stuck rebuying my consoles. Granted, I have some of the best exclusives that can be arguably put some of the most remarkable titles like Gears of War and well, a few other titles like Bullet Witch as well as a few others too. But again, my console is somewhat of superior, and I always felt that way because that's why you always rebuy my consoles. I love you, you love me. We are a great big family with a great big hug. One kiss from me to you. I'm a Wii console controller, so stick it to you. That'll do. I'm just talking out of my head. I'm more approached towards the casual as well as the experimental gamer. Now again, a lot of people don't like me that much, and that's fine. I mean, a couple of my problems is that, heck, I don't even have a DVD player. But you know what? That's that great thing about it. I'm not always about the multimedia. I'm just about doing the fundamentals of gaming and experimenting as well as just being what I am. Nothing more, nothing less. But again, I have plenty of great exclusives as well, including Muramasha as well as the Mario games, and well, stuff that you pretty much grew up on nostalgia. But again, Nintendo's approach with my console or home console was always this. Why not stick it to the original nostalgics and feed into people's pockets that, guess what? My product is always going to be legit because, guess what? I made your kid tug on your shirt or your blouse or on your pants pocket until you finally bought a game from my console. You want to know why? It's because I ensure that you'll believe me every time I tell you your child's going to be safe mentally and physically while he accesses or she accesses my physical being. But remember this. I may be a Wii Mote, but I am a step into the right direction. Isn't that white PS3 and 360? I mean, before it was all not about the gimmicks, it was about straight up gameplay. But apparently you guys decided to capitalize on the gimmickly gameplay as well. Now, I don't expect you guys to comment back or give any feedback towards what my open criticism is about. But again, think of it this way. I open up paths of new ideas and simplistic concepts to games that we all grew up and love. Like, example, Red Dead Redemption is on the PS3 and 360, but not on my console. Am I upset? No. Why? Because I know the core demographic is a bunch of children. Now, am I trying to insult these demographics? Absolutely not, because I know eventually parents will most likely buy more games for my console than both of yours combined. Yes, the marketing sales growth, the most stale product being mostly FPS games of both your consoles, expanding across multiple demographics of being mostly 13-year-olds and 8-year-olds, play across the Modern Warfare games as well as whatever else that has guns in it. But again, mostly as well, many 17 to 34-year-olds, even 42-year-olds still play those type of games too. Does that open the wide market of being some sort of old multinational juggernaut of gaming? I wouldn't think so necessarily, because you want to know why? My console is superior because I stick to the simplicity of gaming and no more other than a couple Wii motion movements.
Yeah, I'm the PS3, baby. I am the full package. Every single time, baby, you look at me, you look at me, you look at me every single time you turn on that console. When I blink, you know there's going to be quality going to be implemented in my console. You want to know why, baby? It's because of this, baby. Every single time you power me on, you wait 5 years just to start your damn console. You want to know why? Because you have to pre-install a bunch of things as well as a bunch of updates. But don't worry, baby. I got your back. PS3 got your back, baby. Don't worry, we're gonna get through this one together. Now, of course, I got plenty of exclusive race titles like Gran Turismo and all that, but don't worry, baby. That game wasn't as bad as people make it out to be, but it's, a little disappointing to say about. One of the major flaws of my console is that you have to pre-install a bunch of games, baby. But don't worry about that. That's to help the speed and loading and all that within the game. But don't worry about it, baby. You will get through that game together with me and my sleek controls. The only problem, though, with my controls is this. The left and right, 2 buttons, they're too loose, baby. They're too smooth, baby. That's as smooth as my personality. But don't worry about it. But don't worry about it, baby. Because me and you, we're going to be playing a bunch of amazing platforming games together. Because most of my games are exclusives, being mostly platforming games, baby. Like Uncharted and Uncharted 2, we bring the charts to a whole new standard of FPS as well as platforming gaming, baby. But don't worry. But don't worry, baby. I got you covered. Not on top of that, only do I do gaming, I do printing, I do photos, I do video with crisp 1080p Blu-ray discs. But don't worry about it. If you have a standard definition TV, you'll still get over about fine. You can still watch your Blu-rays and your DVDs. They won't look very good at all, but you'll still be able to watch them. But don't worry about it. That's the magic of the PS3 and why I'm so superior. I open the vast imagination of all those people who happen to watch me, baby, because it's quite simple. Kids love Little Big Planet. They all sit down in front of their TVs. They all play Little Big Planet. Little Big Planet 2 came out as well. It blew the socks off everybody. But again, don't worry about it. My core demographic is the multimedia juggernauts that I like to call the media junkies. Media junkies being people who love DVDs, who love Blu-rays, who love just experiencing new technology. And I am the push in a new direction. I mean, yes, I might have had a somewhat of a failed experiment with the PlayStation Move controller, but don't worry about it. Plenty of ladies and men and children alike will find some practical use out of it in the future. It'll be a nostalgic product that people will put on their shelves, saying that they got these at a very reasonable price, because before you know it, not many people will be using that anymore. I mean, yes, the 360 does have the Kinect, which is most likely a gigantic version of my iToy, but don't worry about it. It has its own little kinks and little stinks. But overall, I'm the best product over them all. You want to know why? Because I got Uncharted 2. In Infamous, baby. Because that's just like my persona, Infamous. Besides my 6-axis control built into the controller, which, was sort of different and interesting for its time. It isn't really needed that much anymore. Just like most of the projects that Sony and Microsoft, as well as Nintendo put around, they drop their projects as fast as it doesn't become popular anymore. But don't worry. Know the satisfaction of knowing your product is guaranteed by a half-a-year contract. After that contract's over, guys, and your console's broken, don't come crying to us. That just means you have to buy another console. But don't worry about it, baby. As long as you're having fun. As long as you're having fun. I love you. Together, these 3 consoles will be the fun of next-gen generation. The PS3 being, the multimedia giant. The 360 being dedicated a little bit more towards the hardcore gamer. The PS3 still is on that shelf with the same 360 as being, offering just about the same hardcore experience. However, it's more limelighted for the 360, sadly. You have to deal with that spectrum because there's a couple more, again, some of the FPS games I consider hardcore aren't as, elaborate, but whatever. In closing, the Nintendo Wii is very humble. It's not the best looking console in the world by any means whatsoever. It offers, I consider, a lot of great gameplay. I look at this console and say, there's innovations in this console still being developed even in itself that Nintendo slowly but surely implements, and I think it's really fantastic nonetheless. I don't degrade Nintendo for being what it is, nor will I ever probably degrade any of the other consoles. Same with the PC. You know, the PC is still going strong with plenty of hybrid MMOs coming out, as well as, you know, various FPS games, real-time strategy games that keep the market strong. There's plenty of idle games and mod games and games of galore. I'd say that the working giant or the working class hero out of all these console games and computers as well, including the Mac, because the Mac offers video games as well, not as fluent as the PC and whatever you make to point out. But either way, the most important critic, the most important feature of these video games these consoles, it's just that they're getting played. I mean, my example of this little dramatization of each console having a little personality, granted some of the personality for the PS3 was kind of bouncing off everywhere. You got the point. It was this very open and very wide explanation of this console being very wide. This one's just being very formal, wanted to be this really hardcore gaming experience, as well the way he's just trying to be humble. Now, which one do I think is the best out of all these? I think that it doesn't matter. As long as we're all having fun playing them, I think that's the best part of these consoles. I mean, everybody has their criticism towards each console. Everyone has their own moral facts about the consoles. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. As long as you're having fun playing each and every single console, I think that's what matters the most. I mean, as far as criticism, everyone's entitled to their criticism when it comes to each console, that some factual reason why they don't like these consoles. But again, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. As long as you're playing the console you enjoy the most, or all three in this case, you should just be happy knowing that you are playing something that you love to do as your hobby as well as your pastime activity. This is Dan Van Dam with some little bit of an acknowledgement towards all three consoles on top of the computer as well as the Mac and every other console. I see it as this. It's a beautiful thing to express yourself through video games as well as creative talent and art and everything related to gaming as well as music and every other publishing around as well as DVDs. Remember one thing, guys, y'all beautiful for just generally expressing yourselves and being who you are. For myself, well, I'm just a guy who's going to be playing the pillow because I'm really tired. So take it easy, guys, and I hope you guys learned something from this video if you haven't already yet zoned out by now. So take it easy, everybody, and take care. Y'all awesome. Oh, man. Which, in the closing note, I should have had the 360 go, oh man, when it was doing the FPS kind of talk, because that would have probably suited it a little bit better. But, you know, with characteristics of each controller, I tried my best. This is all on the whim kind of thing, hoping, you know, I can put my knowledge across each platform. But either way, take it easy, guys. You guys rock.